Okay, as many of you have noticed, the Chapter 6 download as it's set right now will not work correctly. There's a couple of tiny little mistakes in it. Well, I should say one mistake in one thing because we're using the free version versus the standard or paid version. So, first thing you may have noticed is there were no scores showing. This is an error that's only in the downloaded game and not if you actually built it through the textbook. To fix that one, we'll do that quickly. You go under Objects, there's an Object Controller, and you'll see that the Visible is not checked. One of the things to remember whenever you use the Draw event is anything that's drawn by an object that's not visible, everything that it draws will also not be visible. So we can fix that by just clicking that. Okay, that's the easy one. The hard one is the explosions, because what the author tried to use was the particle system, which is only available in the paid version. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the red bullet, and we'll have to repeat this for both. So we go in here and you'll notice there's our particle, and we can tell it's part of the standard edition because it's got the abbreviation right here. So first thing we're going to do is delete that. Now we've actually got to do something with this. So we're going to create an explosion using the simple sprite that's provided to us with GameMaker. So we're going to create a new sprite. We're going to call it SPR_explosion. We're now going to load a sprite. And what we want to do is you want to go to where the GameMaker files are. Remember, it's under App Data Roaming GameMaker, if he doesn't come right up to it, under Sprites and under the Maze platform. Now if you take a look in there, you will find there is an explosion strip. And again, we're going to remove the background. Don't make it opaque because that's what's going to happen. Okay, and we'll click open. Okay, so now we have 7 images that start out with something in the center and then move out towards the end, which is typically what we want our explosions to do. Okay, now we're going to need to create an object for the same thing. So SPR. Okay, so now we typed it in there, we make sure we get our sprite explosion. And whenever we do an explosion, what we should do is we should always, typically what you want to do is you're going to want to, under Other, you're going to want the animation end, because you need to remove the explosion once it's done. So we're going to remove the explosion. Okay. The other thing we normally want to do is it's usually best to have the explosion sound played with the explosion, because then we can use it for other things as well. So we're going to add a create, and when it's created, what we're going to do is we're going to take the sound explosion that was in our bullet, get rid of it. I press Control X and pressing it there. So now I have an explosion that works. Okay. The problem is we haven't created it yet. So now what we can do is we can go back to our bullet, go under main 1 and create right here at the top, or towards the top, and it needs to be one of the first couple, our explosion, and make it relative to 0, 0, so it shows up in the same place. Okay, now we have a problem right now, because if we go to try to run this, now remember I only did the red one right now, so I've got to make sure I only hit the red button, so I'm going to hit it, and you're going to see that you probably may have heard it, but the thing is it's not there. And also notice our score is back up now. Okay, so that's not going to work, because if you notice, we create the explosion and then we immediately start going to the next screen. Okay, we check the lives and we go in here, so there's no time for anything to happen. The easiest way to do that is make sure that if it's just a one of thing like this is, one hit, go to the next level, that you're going to have the change, we can move that quickly into the explosion. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down, press shift, and then use Control X to cut it, come back over here into my explosion, into animation end, and I'm going to paste these in. Okay, and I'm going to sit there and just move this all the way to the top, just because I like to have that there. And now if we did this correctly, we should be able to see. Okay, now you're going to watch for the explosion right here. Now you saw the explosion. Okay, and obviously you can change the length of the explosion. Now all we have to do now is duplicate what we just did for the other bullet. Now in this case, because, now let's take a look, we're going to have to actually what? Do we need another explosion? The way this is set up, we are going to need another explosion, aren't we? Because this explosion only works for red because of the lives. Now we probably would have gone about and designed this differently. I would have liked to have set this separately and had a controller object, but we're going to keep it just like it is. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create another object. Now we don't need another sprite because we can use the same sprite. So I'm going to have another object, and this is going to be the obj explosion 2. Okay, but we can use the same sprite, and we're going to do the same things. We're going to do our other, and we're going to do animation end and destroy it. And where's my object blue? Sitting right here. Okay, and I'm going to have my create event, and I'm going to go over here, get rid of the explosion, bring it in here. And now I'm going to sit there and take from here and scroll all the way down. Let's come back over here, Control V, Control X, scroll all the way to the top, Control V. Okay, and if we did this correctly, notice how quickly we were able to do the second one now. If we did this correctly, we should be able to, hopefully I didn't skip anything because I went so fast. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, we missed something. Let's go take a look. Okay, we did this, we did this, we did this. We didn't add the explosion, did we? Okay, so we need to create our explosion here. Remember, this is explosion 2 now, and it's relative. Okay, let's go find it now. No, we should have written a script for this. And now you have an explosion and it moves on. So now this game, this is called tank-modified. Assuming my PC doesn't lock up, there it goes. Tank-modified, and this is going to be posted along with the link for this video up on our session, up in our session on chapter 6 for web study. Okay, and that's going to be it.